So I guess I am the Twitter instructor by default somehow. But I don't have anything real in depth. I mean, I'm assuming, are people familiar with Twitter, or is it like step one, ground zero type deal?
Step one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
I don't use it because I don't.
okay, so Twitter is basically, you know, a lot of people say it's 140 characters or less. So it's basically an abbreviated way of communication. So you don't have a lot of text. You don't have, you know, it's not like Facebook where you're writing a paragraph or you're writing, you know, you come and if I were to compose a tweet, you'll see right down here where it says 140. So as you write, you'll see the characters will go. So that's why you'll see a lot of abbreviations or number sign or dollar sign or anything that tries to compress a word, or, you know, building is BLDG. You know, you'll see that within Twitter because you're limited to the amount of characters. So to put out there. So if I wanted this to go out, you just hit tweet, and you'll see at the top, which was the last tweet that I had. Okay? So
you tweet to yourself?
that goes to all my followers. So you'll see over here, I have 139 tweets. I'm following 174 people, and 183 people are following me.
So you sent out 139 tweets?
Yes, I've done 139 tweets. And I'll go through those, just kind of show you guys how I use it business-wise, and give you a feel for what by clicking on here to the people I'm following. And this is, you know, a hybrid of personal and business. You know, I use it for both. It's mainly business, but you can see what I do is I go in, and if I see any real estate person, like John McKenzie in Wichita that's on Twitter, I will follow them. And it's pretty customary that once you have somebody that you know or that you do business with, that if you follow them, they typically will follow you back. So it's kind of a, you know, a give and take there. So, you know, one day I got a notification that John McKenzie started following me, so I followed him back. I also go and, you know, you can see, you know, farm and ranch is what I do a lot of. So you'll see I follow a lot of ag-related publications in order to get industry news. You know, the price of corn, the price of wheat. I get a notification every morning and at the end of every day if corn is up or down, or if the wheat price is up or down. So there's different segments within Twitter, and I'll go through that a little bit more, how you find that you guys can find that will give you. Now, they're not always going to follow you back, but again, you know, I go and follow one of the reporters from the Business Journal. Typically, they're going to follow me back, and what that does is that gives you, you know, that avenue to a publication, to a reporter. So if they see something or a transaction maybe that I was involved with that may spark an interest, say, you know, I might want to do a story on that, or I need to call John on that. You know, I've had numerous times where, you know, I've tweeted out something and John Stearns is now gone, but before he'd call me and say, hey, I saw you have this auction coming up. Is there a story there? Is there anything I can write on that? So, you know, it's a little bit different dynamic with, you know, commercial and residential, but, you know, just kind of talking so you guys kind of see the dynamic. You know, so it's essentially, you just got to find people to follow, and that's how you build your following, is by following people and getting them to follow you back. Now, once you start following people, you'll see over here.
Wait. How do you find the people to follow?
Well, part of it is.
I mean, there's your list of people there that's already on Twitter, and you just go through it?
Well, probably a good way to do is to start searching, you know, up here, you know, you can search names, you can search hashtags, you can search,
And what is a hashtag?
I'll get into that.
Okay, good.
But you can search different things, and then once you start following people, you'll see this segment over here where Twitter starts grouping, you know, maybe it's geographically or within a category, and so they'll start making suggestions on who to follow. And so it's just, I don't think there's a black and white answer to that. It's just kind of a,
Well, if someone's not on Twitter, how do you invite them to join?
they have to be on Twitter.
They have to be on
You
Twitter.
Yeah.
can also,
Yeah,
you can also like search John and look at who he's following and use his list of who he's following.
right, and that's a good
Start.
point. So that's another thing I do is, if I have somebody I'm following that, you know, I see relevant information coming out of their Twitter page, I'll go into their page and see who they're following, and then I will pick off some of the people that I think are relevant to what I, you know, any Wichita Eagle news, any Wichita Business Journal news, I pick it up off of Twitter. I don't really do newspapers anymore. You know, it's just a great source of news. It's instantaneous, you know, and you'll see it like the Business Journal. Every article that's in their publication on Friday is tweeted out during the week. So by the time, if you wait to Friday to see it, I already saw it 4 days ago. Okay, so that may be a business coming to town or whatever. So that gives me, you know, a time advantage to maybe contact that prospect before somebody else sees it. So
I
it's,
have a question.
yeah,
Why is there Twitter and Facebook? What's the difference?
just different forms of social
Just-
media.
What did
Kind
she
of
say?
shorter and quicker and not,
Yeah, the difference between Facebook and Twitter. To me, Facebook is, you have a lot more personal users,
people showing baby pictures and
day-to-day
stuff like that.
users, right. Whereas I would link Twitter a little bit more with LinkedIn,
Okay.
where it's more, I mean, there's a lot of personal stuff on there, but you can get a lot of industry news, a lot of, you know, articles, you know, from the Wichita Eagle, from the Business Journal, you know, that you get a lot more business, you know,
Okay.
life news.
Also, with Facebook, you have to have a personal page and a business page, but it's just one
Right.
site here.
Correct. Yeah, it's just one. So mine's a hybrid. So I use it, you know, I have personal, you know, sports people I follow, and then I have business people I follow. So it's a type of a hybrid.
Okay.
You don't have to, I mean, you can set up 2 separate Twitter pages if you wanted to do a personal one and a business one. You know, you could do it that way, but there's no, all this right here, this column right here is just live tweets of people I follow. Okay, so you can see Mike Greenberg, who's, you know, has a radio show on ESPN. That's a personal deal, okay? Chad Ford, ESPN guy. But then you get down here and you'll see
A lot of sports stuff.
a lot of sports stuff. You'll see High Plains Journal,
Downtown Wichita.
Downtown Wichita, K-State Agriculture, risk management. This is what I was talking about. Closing market, corn up 72 cents at $5.03, wheat up 34 cents at $6.76, soybeans down 11 cents. To me, that's relevant to what I do every day. So it gives me real-time information. The Land Report, which is a publication for, you know, in the farm and ranch industry. And so one thing you'll see within a lot of these tweets is the number sign and then a word after it. And that's what the hashtag is. Okay, the number sign is called a hashtag. And essentially what that does is groups together information about a particular topic. So just in general terms, if you ever watch, say, American Idol, and you're watching the show live, and you'll see, you know, tweet with the hashtag Idol 2014. What that's doing is telling everybody in the world that if you tweet about that particular show, hashtag it Idle 2014, and those will all group together. So you can see here, they do hashtag forestry. So if you click on that, it'll show you every tweet that has hashtag forestry in it. It's just like a search engine type deal. So
So is it gonna bring up everybody who tweeted to hashtag American Idol?
yeah,
What if it's like 30 million?
then you'll have a lot of tweets to go through.
So we don't really wanna do that.
Okay, but here's the,
That's,
and I'll get to it when I get back to the way I personally do it. But, so that'll just kind of give you a feel for the tweet itself. Now I'll go to myself and just show you guys how I use it. It's being ever present if somebody is to Google my name, right? So if somebody were to Google John Rupp, Wichita, Kansas, I want my Twitter page to show up. I want my Facebook page to show up. I want LinkedIn to show up. I want my profile on Wygand.com to show up. So you'd be amazed at how many people, and I don't know if it's like this in residential, but if somebody calls me on my phone, I say, who am I talking to? And they tell me their name. I'm on my phone and I'm on my computer on Google searching who I'm talking to. Because I want to know who it is and I want to know if they're legit and I want to know if there's anything that pops up. Okay, so there's people that do that. I mean, you're being investigated, pre-business so much more today than ever before. So you want to have an online presence and show that you are an expert in what you do. I had a deal last year where we had a trustee, two sisters out in California who had an irrigated farm out in Pratt, Kansas. She called me and I said, how'd you find me? I did an internet search, your name popped up, I researched the activity and business that you do, and it looks like you're the best, so we want to use you.
Awesome.
Okay, that's easy, but you gotta be present, you gotta be relevant, you gotta be up to date. So that's why it's very important, January of every year, I always update my online profiles, so people know what I do.
I'm sorry, what does that app mean? So
That's just how you're identified. That's your handle,
okay.
essentially.
Okay.
And you can communicate.
can you go in and change that?
I'm sure you could.
So if somebody searches for you, they could either find you at John Rupp or at Rupp Auctions.
Yes. Yeah. So you'll see I have real estate broker with J.P. Wygand & Sons in Wichita, Kansas, specializing in farm and ranch, auctions, investment property, and commercial properties. Now, I'll show you here how I use Twitter. Okay, so part of Twitter is composing your own tweets, but it's also retweets. So essentially what a retweet is if you see something that you like from a person that you're following, maybe it's a pertinent article or good news about downtown Wichita, and you think it's a neat deal, you can retweet that, and essentially it just shoots that out to everybody that's following you. So, like you'll take right here, Wichita Business Journal. There was a week where they did an article or something that I did, and I was in the Business Journal. So they tweet out, people in our Business Journal this week. You can see at Rupp Auctions. So I retweeted that so everybody would see that I was in the Business Journal. Again, it's a branding deal for me. Okay.
And show them how to retweet.
Okay. Okay, right here, Wygand Agents. The Land Report published a list of the top 30 auction companies in the country based on sales. And we were one of them. I retweeted that again so everybody would see that.
So to retweet, you just pick it up there, retweet?
Yeah,
Oh, no, it says we retweeted.
yeah, I'll show you here. I'll have to go back to right here, Carrie Ringers. I love any good quotes of the day, but ones that come straight to me via text, the best. So here's a link directly to what she publishes in the Wichita Eagle all the time. This was a quote from Bradley Tiedemann. He said I could leave him out of the press, but not out of the commission. Basically, a quote from Bradley, about his dad, Grant. So I retweeted that. So that's the retweet side. Now, here, just go through each one of these. Anytime we get a new auction or a new listing, I will go and compose a tweet just like this. It says, Wygant Auction, Northeast Sedgwick County land, 234 plus or minus acres and 3 tracts. Follow link. So you can see how follow link is choppy. I shortened that up because I was running out of characters, right? Instead of follow the link, I used follow link. And then what I always do is put a link directly to the flyer.
Does the link count in your characters?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have that.
And there's ways to
added
shorten
in.
them down,
Okay.
which I don't do that just because I don't need that much. I can do it without doing it, but there are ways to shorten that down if you want to create more text. So what I do is creating value, right? So I want people to follow me because I want them to instantaneously know when we have a new auction or a new listing, because that creates value to them, right? So it's instantaneous. They know before anybody else knows. So that's why, what I've tried to do is create value with putting on what we have coming up.
Do you need to have Wygant in either your first name or the @ and that name? Do you need to have Wygant
No.
in one of those?
As
And
your,
so in your tweets then, do you have to say Wygant? Where do you have?
You gotta say it somewhere.
you got to say it somewhere, yeah.
So if you don't want to use it in one of your 140 characters, you better put it in the @ like.
Yeah, but that doesn't go out on your tweet. That doesn't go out in your tweet.
Yeah, well, it does right there. It says @
Oh, true. Yeah, that's true.
I'm just wondering.
You guys will be surprised that you can condense it. If you create a link to the flyer, you just create some buzzwords like, so here, Wygant Auction Prime, Kansas. Okay, so Dwayne is in our office. He specializes in office. He did a lease on a men's clinic on Northridge Road. So I followed Dwayne. He tweeted that. I retweeted it because synergy within, our agents, right? I want people to know Dwayne did that. He hashtags Wichita, office, CRE, which is commercial real estate, and then Wygant commercial. So those are his hashtags. You'll see here, I follow the Lux, and they sent out a tweet about, their new office building that they're renovating downtown. I thought it was a cool deal. I think it's great for downtown. I retweeted it so people would see it. Okay. You'll see here Jake Stephen, who my dad and I have working with us now. He got the Rookie of the Year. So I took a picture of him at the awards banquet, tweeted it out. 2013 WAR Rookie of the Year, well-deserved award, great addition for the rep auction team. Hashtag keep growing, which obviously isn't going to be grouped with anything. That was just a fun thing, for me to put in there. Hashtag Wygant. Okay. Results. I also do results, which I know, okay, auctions are a public forum, so I can have a little bit more leeway with giving out specific information, right? Because it's a public auction, so the information's out there. So Wygant Auction, sold, Butler County, hashtag Kansas, hashtag pasture, 147.7 acres sold for $324,940, or $2,200 per acre. Kansas, hashtag auction, hashtag Flint Hills. Okay, all buzzwords that were related to that auction.
So do the hashtags Flint Hills count in your characters?
Yeah.
Everything counts.
Everything counts.
Just industry news. JP Wygant and Sons Inc. Wygant Auction named the top real estate auction firm from the Business Journal in their 2013 book of lists. Hashtag auction. Okay. Again, letting the public know that, hey, we're doing a lot of business look, it's out there, you know, this is what we do, call us. Yeah.
What the hashtag is pointing to, what has to be on that for it to find it? You know, like your auction brochure, you've got like hashtag auction, and if you click on that, it takes you to the brochure.
No.
No?
The link, so, okay, this link right here, follow link for the complete flyer, that link will take you to the auction flyer.
Okay, where does the hashtag take
The
you?
hashtag just takes you to anything in the whole world of Twitter that has the hashtag auction.
I see. Okay.
So if you have people on the East Coast looking for Kansas hunting land, they may search hunting, they may search Kansas. So any tweet that has a hashtag will show up in that feed.
Okay.
So it's the hashtag, look at the hashtag kind of like a Google search engine. You know, if you go to Google and you put in, you know, a specific word that you're looking for information on, you know, you put that in, search, it's going to come up. Same type of deal.
Does it have to match exactly? Like if somebody searches for Kansas hunting and you just have hunting, will it pull up?
No, it's got to match.
It's got to match.
And that's a learning process of using Twitter, is you kind of learn industry common hashtags. So that's just kind of a trial and error type deal, you know, whereas, you know, for me, I started picking up that a lot of people were using hashtag CRE, commercial real estate. Okay, so I started using that.
Can you put two hashtags together to narrow down a search? Like hashtag Kansas, hashtag hunting, you know, will it pull up stuff that has both? Or will it pull up anything Kansas and anything hunting?
I'm not sure on that. I'd have to mess around with that.
Or tweets, even though I don't have any tweets going out with that.
And see, here's another thing too. So if it'll bring up, it does bring up the different hashtags that have that in addition.
Click on that.
So that is another way to do that.
I just put in hashtag hunting and then hashtag Kansas, and it brought up only tweets with both.
Did it?
But they're not combined. It's, they hashtag Kansas and they hashtag hunting. So,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
So, you know, just more deals. I mean, this was like, you know, our king jewel here that we did last year was this Flint Hills Ranch, okay? So just to show you like the progression of, you know, the day before we sent out a reminder of the auction that we're having, okay? Then September 20th, the day of, we send out the results of the auction. And then that afternoon, John Stearns does an article on it in the Business Journal, and I retweet that, okay? So look how powerful that branding is, you know, because you'd be surprised that, and I get this all the time, there's a lot of people who I'm pretty good acquaintances with, and they're like, oh, I didn't know you did that. Or, you know, I didn't know Wygant had an auction team. It's like, you serious? You know, and so you kind of take that for granted a little bit. So this is kind of an indirect way to be in your acquaintance's face and say, this is what I do, and if you ever need anything, call. So, which, see, here's Lynn Channon. I was mentioned in her tweet, thanks Everup Auctions for teaching the Twitter class today at the Wygant West office. Okay. And we had, see, Lynn Channon and 6 others followed you. Okay, so it notifies you when you get me followed. So that's the basics of kind of how I use it. I don't know if that helps. It's, you know, it's, I didn't know what the heck was going on when I got on it, okay? You know, there's a trial and error. You can't be, you know, maybe set up a fake account and kind of mess with it so you don't start getting, you know, followers on your business account and you're, you know, messing up and doing all that stuff. So maybe create a fake account mess around with it and get comfortable with it and how it works, and then go and create your business account, and then you start, you know, following people, as many as you can, and, you know, following, I don't know, what would be for residential, like we have SIOR, we have,
CRS,
Yeah.
GRI,
so those are other,
PRI.
ABR.
let's see if that pops up here.
Linda's Wigand,
Yes. Yes, Wigand has a Twitter account for corporate and also for agents. At JP Wigand is the corporate account. And I post to all of them both of them multiple times a day.
Okay, the first one was at Wigand.
No, the first one is at JP Wigand. And then the agents one is at Wigand Agents.
so if I send you a tweet that says Karen is special, you'll retweet it?
Maybe.
Of course.
Depends on how much money you have. I can be bribed.
Okay, here we go, I think this is it. Is this it?
ABR
Yeah.
designation, yeah.
Okay, so what you'll find, and this is another good source of information, is, you know, go within your designations within your industry and find their Twitter page. Everyone has one, okay? ABR. You know, you'll see here just different things there.
And this is a great place to get things to retweet.
Right, which shows you, you know, shows your clients that you're on top of the news. Let's see,
Or see who ABR is following.
Mm-hmm.
And you get this on your phone too,
Sure.
right?
Yeah, so I have a Twitter app, just like you have, you
Just
know,
like Facebook?
yeah. So Realtors, the National Association of Realtors has a Twitter page.
How many followers do they have? Just for fun.
They have 127,000 followers. They have 9,973 tweets. See, here's another way you can find people. You go to Realtors, right here, it says followed by Air Capital Roofing, The Land Report, John McKenzie, and 4 others. Another good way to grow who you're following. You know, it shows Javier with From Home Buyers, Mary Hopkins, John McKenzie, Tessa Holtz. All people you can go in and follow, okay?